I don't want to set the world on fire.
Welcome, everyone, to the next episode of The Foley of Man. My name is Chris, and with me here today,
Robert.
And today we're coming at you live.
It's not
live.
No, there's no. This shit ain't live.
We're not good.
Yeah, live at 10:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Hope y'all are up.
So, in what has become the lacking fiber nature of this show, the irregular nature of this show, we're back.
We're back.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, we are here, and here's an episode
Hey!
for you, the consumer.
One of you will remember us. One of you.
But the good news is that we have devised a new method to reach out to us. And I think it's in keeping with our release schedule for this show. So just so you know, one, new episodes come out every 3 to 6 months. And if you'd like to reach us, make sure to send a carrier pigeon to us via 111111 North Kakalaki Way, North Carolina.
There's no city.
Yeah.
We're so far out in the boonies that we aren't incorporated in any capacity.
Yeah, well, we're like Alex Jones. We're just, in a Foley of Man compound on the outskirts of town.
512 817 U.S. Highway 70 North.
So there may be somebody joining us for the first time. Unlikely, but maybe. And to you, I would say you've come to the wrong end of the internet. This is a show where Chris is a Brony and I'm not a Brony, and we review My Little Pony fan fiction.
A few other things happen, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's kind of the crux of the show. And specifically, this show is the combination of My Little Pony fan fiction and the video game Fallout. This series covers Project Horizons, written by Somber. And this week, we're covering Chapter 17. So if you're watching us for the first time, and you like My Little Pony and Fallout, and don't mind rape, then you should probably pause the video right now.
Content warning, kids.
And go read the first 16 chapters of this book. Oh, and probably read all of Fallout Equestria.
Yeah, you should probably do that.
In preparation for this book. And if you haven't watched My Little Pony at all, you might want to go watch at least the first season of that.
Be a good idea.
Not the new show, the old show, but not the old show, the middle old show.
Gen 3.5.
Is that what it's called?
No, it's Gen 4. Gen 3.5 was an abomination where they didn't even animate the mouths and the eyes never blinked. And they were fully wide. It took up like 3/4 of their face, and it was a complete circle with no occlusion whatsoever. So they had trench eyes, and they never blinked.
Great. Well, that sounds like the stuff of nightmares.
It is.
So this is a long-ass chapter.
Very.
Crazed Rambling in his notes on YouTube was like, yeah, when I came across another one of these long fucking chapters, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I've got to start breaking these into 2 and 3 parts. So let's start off with the summary. Sound like a good idea?
Sure.
You think so?
Well, I mean, we're getting into the wintry, but summary's fine.
Moving on. Needed a moment of zen. Never getting it, but I needed it. You don't realize the only reason I do this show is to get away from my family.
I bet them. I understand.
It's like every time I go home, there's another kid. It's just like all children, and nobody's happy to see me. Hey, old man, fuck you. Why don't you go make the money and die?
I'm sorry. Is that a paycheck in my hand? No.
Like that old painting. Yeah. Where's my money?
Anyway.
This chapter is basically the kind of like, hey, we just kind of finished book 1 and we killed the villain. What I do now?
It's very big into retrospection about like the events that have occurred and kind of, I don't know, tidying up. I would say.
Am I a good pony? You know what? You know what the name of this chapter should have been called? Begone, THOT. Hell, jeez, man. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Pussy's undefeated, my friend. Mm-hmm. Pussy is undefeated.
Anyway.
And if that word bothers you, It's going to be a long
Pussy
haul.
or thought?
It's going either one.
Undefeated?
It's going to be a long. You know what?
There's a lot of syllables on
if any
undefeated.
of my words offend you, it's going to be a long haul. It really is. I will try to not disparage individual groups. That's. I'm not into that.
I don't mean to say epithets all the time, but the filthy mud ponies don't have give me any other option.
What did I say about ethnic slurs?
Backwards dirt horse.
With your Dayglow mustache.
Anyway.
So Deus has been killed, and now we're like deciding that we're going to fortify this city. And it's like, hey, I know how we got rid of everything that y'all care about, and your whole city's been destroyed. But don't worry, we'll train you to fight the next battle. And they're like, but I don't want to fight any battles. And it's like,
well, see,
I'll train you to fight the next battle. And
well, see, the problem is that we came here and created a whole bunch of shit and pretty much created a massive power vacuum that other people are going to want to take advantage of. So we kind of fuck you. But
now the good news is that Blackjack can be a Reaper.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is a Reaper.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Unofficially, but yeah, it is because she killed a Reaper.
You kill a Reaper. And we also find out that that's why Rampage is named Rampage, because she killed the Reaper Rampage. Mm-hmm. And also, she does not know who she is or why she is. Great.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, I was a baby, and they found me in a pile of trash, and then they sold me into slavery, and then I was raped for years, and then I escaped. And man, I hate this world, and I can't die because I constantly regenerate. And I have pink zebra stripes, but that's between me, and fuck you for trying to find out.
Yeah. How dare you?
How I look this way because I want to look this way.
Because I have to look this way. Wait,
And
which one is it? Shut up.
Rampage almost killed Blackjack, Well, I mean, she was threatening her, but, say she almost killed, but she was, like, freaking out, like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. By the way, I've got knives in your shoulders. I don't want to talk about it.
And she also did throw up all over P21.
Oh, right. Well, because she drank that nasty, there was a cocktail, like a hangover cure cocktail.
Yeah.
That Blackjack was drinking from. And I can't remember the bar pony's name. Is it Caprice?
Caprice is the leader.
Caprice, that's right. Caprice is the leader.
I can't remember
I don't remember the bar pony. Well, anyways, the bar pony is a whore. And I don't just say that because she willingly has sex with anyone. But it's because she sold out Blackjack. That's why. Mm-hmm. For 10,000 caps. For, what was it? Her sweet apricot and my stiff rhubarb from Lord Orange? Does that sound right?
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah, Lord Orange. Which I assume means he's some bastard offspring of, one of the princess's concubines from 1,000 years ago or some bullshit.
Prince Blue Blood's offspring, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's how it was supposed to work. Part of society.
Yes, of course. So, there is that. They also fight some, decrepit robots.
Yep.
And they're pretty bad. And Rampage, is like getting her face melted off and torn to pieces and like not dying.
Yeah, she's being shot full of holes, and then she just like picks the bullets out of her nose when her face regenerates.
Oh yeah, she like blows them out of her nose, and you're like, oh.
Ugh.
Like there's a cartoonish version of that where it's like, oh yeah, Daffy Duck just got filled with bullets, and he shoots them out of his nose.
He drinks the water, and all the like the sprays of water come out.
But then there's also like, you remember the movie The Fly? There's like imagining like somebody like actually like trying to extract a bullet from their nose. Like that's yeah, like a Cronenberg film, right?
Can we not do?
So there is that. Blackjack also says, well, like, if you want to die, why didn't you just go to the hoof? And it's like, I went there.
And I
don't want to talk about it. That's what triggered the I don't want to talk about it. But also, she said that she fucked Priest.
Yeah.
Or that she wanted to fuck Priest. And which one is it?
I mean, probably both.
But she did, but she also wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
I
mean, they're not mutually exclusive concepts.
I suppose in the context of rape, yes.
Yeah.
It's a context we often don't talk about in polite society.
No. But this is not a polite society.
Yeah.
This is a rather impolite society.
This episode is actually
It's the kind of society that walks into a place with you behind them and closes the door in your face.
We live in a society.
We do live in a society.
We do live in a society.
Oh my gosh.
But we don't have to live in a society,
Yeah, we can't.
Just be stoics.
Yeah, except,
Go off and live in the hills.
they won't let us.
Who is they?
They?
Who are they?
I'm not getting into it.
Oh no. Chris, this is when Chris.
It's gonna get super real,
I was
super
gonna say,
quick.
this is when Chris immediately turns anti-Semitic. You're like, whoa, jeez, oh my god.
Oh, not that, no.
Or maybe you're a fan of David Icke. Maybe you're like, well, obviously it's the shape-shifting lizard people.
Of course it is.
And there it is, folks.
Well, no, see, I know that for a fact because I'm a shape-shifting lizard person. That's right. I'm coming out. It's finally true. I'm controlling the world.
Licks eyeball.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Robert. I only like to eat insects.
Who decides that there's a 7-day week? It was me.
You're like the stonecutters from The Simpsons.
Oh, no. It's one of those stupid things where, like, when somebody wants to act cool, they're like, who is it who decides that there's a 5-day work week? And it's like, I mean...
Henry Ford.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, for people who don't know, they think that it's some great grand conspiracy, and they're like, it was me. It's like, no, it was totally something else. Stop
What
acting
are they
dumb.
putting in the water to make this color in the stream?
It's not only happening in the air now, rainbows near the ground. What are they putting in our ground supply? What are they putting in our water supply? Somebody find that woman. She's amazing.
Man, there are some days where you're like, maybe the American system was wrong. Maybe not every voice should be heard. Maybe not every voice should have a vote. At least.
And I thought I was going to go down a bad path.
Yeah. No, I mean, principally, everyone has value.
Yes.
Personally, fuck that shit. Right? You know, your principles and then also just your kind of...
Could you just go off into a ditch somewhere?
Yeah.
And just leave the rest of us
You
alone?
just... You know what? I don't know how to say this.
Welcome to the Foley of Man political podcast. Where we
It's
complain-
not. No, we're not. No. This is... I mean, the Project Horizons is full of politics.
It really is. Not the kind of, like, topical politics as much as it's more, like, conceptual politics. Like, why would somebody do this? Why would somebody, like, talking about chapter, Morning Glory coming back to how the Enclave can do no wrong and would never lie.
I mean, you know somebody's done a fan fiction character of, like, Bernie Sanders as a pony.
Probably.
Brony Sanders.
Brony Sanders.
Oh, my God, Brony Sanders.
I am once again asking for bits.
For your Twilight Sparkle girlfriend pillows.
Oh.
So let's hit the beats. We also find out that... Well, we really don't find anything out from P21.
Nah.
Except that, you know, he likes being called P21.
It feels like we were kind of building up to the resolution of her having watched the tapes and him, like, confronting her or confronting each other about it, but it never happens.
Nope. No.
It does happen later, but
Yep, not yet.
not yet.
It's got to keep building up. Morning Glory is also now in her emo phase. She's now Fallen Glory, and she's also fucking refusing to fly.
It's also not a phase, Mom.
There's just
This is just who I am.
There's a lot of angst, and there's a lot of, like, how should I say this? At the end of the chapter, there's a Point Break scene, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. Take the shot. I can't do it. Take the shot. I can't do it. Ah!
Bang, 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 bang.
And I get it. There's just a little bit of it that's like an episode of Felicity with, you know, guns and, you know, it's very melodramatic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crying and a lot of hugging. Actually, you know what it really is? It's like an episode of Oprah, right? With all the crying and hugging and, you know, breakthroughs that occur. And here's the deal. It's like not that none of those things would exist. I don't know. It just gets kind of tired.
Yeah.
That it's like, I shot someone and now I'm going to cry. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm desensitized to it because we've done so many of these.
Yeah, and it's possible that just because of the nature of the stories we covered so far with Fallout Equestria and with Pink Eyes, where, I mean, Pink Eyes was filled with some really horrifying things that are
really
told
heavy.
in a really lighthearted way due to the nature of what the story is.
Well,
like,
told from a childish perspective.
yeah, but I'm talking about, like, one of the first scenes where the raider starts, like, bashing the head of Puppy Smiles in, and the pink smoke comes out and starts melting his face.
Yep.
And it's like,
And his brains drip out through his eye sockets and stuff like that.
And so you get to this point, it's like, this is rather benign.
Thematically, too, I just, like, Blackjack has killed a lot of people at this point. And I understand she killed people in the stable, right? But that was kind of a dehumanizing...
soldier.
Like, I don't really think of them as people. They're objects.
I was just following orders.
Yeah, that's right. But on that note, from that tone, you should also say that P-21 identifying like with his slave name is a little strange. Like, it's like a badge of honor for him now, even though he like hates everyone and hated it.
I could actually see that from the perspective of if the only driving force, the only thing keeping you on was your anger, the only thing that that you thought, at least, keeping you whole was the hatred you felt, I could see, that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
But it also kind of feels weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, we also get a couple memory orbs, some interesting ones. One involving Celestia and one of Blue Blood's offspring that he's incredibly abusive to, who had been sent to the Zebra Lands. So he spoke their language and he communicated with them. And he's like, "What are you doing?" What we find out basically,
you went native.
Basically, what we find out is that there's a power struggle, right? The Kaiser is not the leader of the zebras. He's the protector of the zebras. Therefore, anything done against zebra kind is seen as weakness in him. And so there's things that he has to do to bolster his position. By the way, terrible way to organize your society, right? Like, you can inherently see how it causes more aggression and violence naturally. But the zebra lands are also more dangerous.
Yep. And it behooves them, just because of the way that they have historically been constructed. They're a tribalistic society that needed to be unified. How do you unify separate tribal systems? You either do so through constant, political, like Roman style, house structures, or you have one guy who is ready to beat the shit out of everyone. Force and violence. Right. And that's what the Kaiser of the current, or at least at the time, the current Zebra Lands was one who ruled with an iron rod. Right. Well, and Celestia speaks to this. She says, "I remember his grandfather and how reasonable and considerate he was." And it's like, or maybe it was his father. And I think it was his father. It was his father who was that, and he says he's far more like his grandfather, who was less so. Yeah. But Celestia has also ruled for 1,000 years, and she even jokes to Luna. She's like, "You want to take over for a bit?" And Luna's like, "Not for a fucking minute." No, not in your life. But what's so funny is that the young offspring of Blue Blood, who's like, "What are you doing? You can't do this." And I should also say that the problem is that the zebras need magical crystals from Equestria for their energy weapons. Yep, because to defend their lands from all the crazy ass fucking animals that live in their lands. Yep, it's a dangerous place. Equestria needs coal because it's industrializing, right? And they need coal to produce things. And Celestia even says, why was our infrastructure built around a commodity that we do not have? Yep. Like, why couldn't it be built around the energy crystals, right? Yeah. Whatever. And it's like, yeah, why didn't you? Because we needed a war. But anyways, the kid talks about you're not just talking about battles or fights. What they're thinking of is war. Yeah. It's a word that they invented, and Celestia is like, no, they didn't invent that. Technically, Luna and I invented that when we were battling over 1,000 years ago. Yeah. And they're like, what, didn't we call it weir? Wasn't it weir to begin with? Which, we are, I don't know. Maybe that's the device that they're working with. I mean, a part of that is, I think, and I don't know whether Somber alludes to this later or whether it's just me kind of reading more into the original story, but it feels like part of the animosity that it grew between the two distinct nations was obviously based on an episode of the show where a zebra is in town and all of the ponies hide because they're super xenophobic. Zebraphobic? Zebraphobic. Mm-hmm. Well, and kind of for good reason. Well, now we learn. I mean, zebras inherently are just more aggressive and dangerous. Exactly. Yeah. We got to watch out for zebra kind. getting too deep.
The heavy-hoofed nature of some of the analogies.
Yeah, but I think I would see it as there was a deep cultural divide that could never be, it could never be resolved, because think of the position that Luna and Celestia hold over Equestria, which is one of almost a gentle touch, where it's like, you continue to do what you wish, we will be here to help you. Yeah. We are effectively the divine protectors. Where in the Zebralands, it's absolutely by force. It's hard. It's firm. It's just you do this because you are commanded.
One of the strange questions, though, and is like, so the zebras worship these like elder gods.
Yeah.
Right. The zebras worship like eldritch horror. Yep. As I understand it. Mm-hmm. And there was a one-off story I remember that we did that like addressed this. Do you remember?
Origin story. Yes.
Origin story.
K-Cat's origin story.
Right. And so they kind of worship these eldritch horrors, but the actual gods of the land are the goddesses.
Yeah.
And is it like of this world, they bring the sun up and bring the moon, and so it's like, are the zebras just forgotten? Why don't they recognize your godliness or godhood? And if all ponies are crafted and created in your vision, like, why do they look different? Why, like, what are they? And then the question then becomes like, okay, wait, are we getting into like real deep, like, call me Ishmael? Are the zebras the bastard child of Abraham? Is that what we're dealing with? Are the goddesses, like, if we're talking about like there's one God above all of them, right? Okay, work with me here for a minute. Is it like, the goddesses are like, from me, the progenitor of, like Judaism and Christianity come from me, Celestia and Luna, take your pick, which it really doesn't matter. But then the zebras are like Islam, right? Yeah. They are the bastard child of Abraham, the first child of Abraham, and their whole lineage is based off of that structure.
I think you can see it that way, but I think there's a lot more to it, because you can possibly deal with this in the idea of, think of a world which is a coin, where you have the upper and the lower. The upper is controlled by the goddesses. The lower is controlled by an eldritch abomination of which we cannot speak.
Right.
But
that structure inherently makes the zebras the villain.
Yes, but there are entities which can cross between the two, and which can not affect either system, but pretty much work outside of it.
It's interesting, though. The princesses seem wholly and completely unaware. Yeah. Of the other side, but the other side certainly does not seem to be unaware of.
Well, that's the thing is, I think, what if the other side, the rulers of the other side, couldn't see the other, couldn't see the other one as well, but there were entities that could move between the two and were acclimated to both, and so what the zebras are doing is trying to placate those entities which can move between the two forms.
Right. Food for thought.
Food for thought. I don't think that actually ever comes up in the story, but
no, I know it's a world building. I mean, this is outside of Project Horizons. It's just kind of, I understand. Like, that's the dumb thing. It's like, yes, it's a show for children, however, there's some pretty large overarching themes that you can take from this.
Yeah, I remember,
and it's the problem with your gods walking amongst you, and that's why I don't like DC Comics. There you go. In this essay, I intend to prove.
I hope you enjoy reading this as much as I enjoyed writing it.
Yeah, it was really good until Chapter 7, when there was like a strange Superman Martian Manhunter gay fanfic that was kind of just shoved in there.
Yeah.
It's like you were talking about power, and then they were just like boning each other. And I was like, yeah, it really picked up there, didn't it? It's like, I don't think you hate it as much as you started in your outline. So, yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. I feel like there's some very strong religious themes in these books.
Yeah, I think you're always going to approach
that. In a way, the Fallout, Equestria, and Project Horizons are both kind of the result of Nietzsche's warning, right? This is a world with no gods. Yeah. We killed them. Literally, we killed them.
Yeah.
Right?
Drop nukes on them.
Like, Nietzsche says, God is dead and we killed him, right? Yeah. In this case, Celestia is dead and we killed her.
Yeah, we totally. So actually,
this whole world is Nietzsche's. What is it? I'm going to mess up the German. It's like Zarathustra, right?
No, thus spoke Zarathustra, yeah.
Anyways. So I don't know what that means if we look at this from the perspective of Nietzsche. I'd prefer if we looked at it from the perspective of Carl Jung. Are there
Lobsters.
Are there any lobsters in this story?
Maybe Blackjack needs to clean her room.
You know, really, the end game of this show is for us to basically devolve into Muppets. You know, Chris, it ain't easy being green.
It's not easy making a green screen either. Just ask us.
I'm trying to think. So basically, I think we've hit the... Oh, there's one more memory orb I do not want to forget. Mm-hmm. The Ministry Mayors are at a tech exhibition from Mr. Horse.
Yeah.
In a world of ponies, this motherfucker is actually called Mr. What is he, like the Samuel L. Jackson?
Remember, there's a surname of Man. Man is a surname.
I understand this. But Mr. Horse, which I am always going to think of Ren and Stimpy when I hear Mr. Horse. So like every time he's talking,
got any rubber walrus
yeah,
protectors?
but yeah, the whole time I'm hearing Mr. Horse, I'm just seeing Mr. Horse in my head. But Mr. Horse is the head of a technology division. He's trying to sell this technology, and it's these like, what does he call them? Some pixies, sprites, something.
Mecha Sprite, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And they're like, oh, those things are terrible, like in real life. And he's like, no, but these things are cool. And he's like, here, I had a magic field to them, and these little ball bearings burst to life, and they spread, they get wings, and they have glowing eyes, and they can convert raw material into the end product.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking cool.
Also terrifying.
Yeah, it is. Well, and when it's done doing its little thing, it spits up another sprite.
Also known as, hey, do you know what gray goo is?
Yeah. But so what I'm seeing here is it's like, hey guys, here's a super weapon that exists in Equestria that you're probably going to come across later. Plant. It's a plant.
It does remind me of the super weapon designs they talk about in Pink Eyes with the gun that converts all of your blood into chocolate milk.
Ugh.
Which is the most pony terrifying weapon of all time. It's like, oh, it's so cutesy, and oh my god.
Yeah, and on that note, I have to say, so Pinkie Pie makes an appearance in this chapter.
Yep.
When she, a letter is finally delivered and opened, and her face appears, kind of like the grand and powerful Oz.
Yep.
And she's talking to Mr. and Mrs. Cake, and you're wondering if they're talking about cake or explosives. It's hard to tell, right?
Mr. and Mrs. Yellow Cake.
That's right. Yeah, Yellow Cake. Yeah. But I listen to the chapter sometimes in 1.5 or 2 times speed, and Pinkie Pie already talks really fast. And I was like, whoa, I gotta go back. I'm not getting any of that. It was like 4 times speed when she was talking. But she was literally on crank. So, you're like, wow, why is Pinkie Pie so full of energy? And it's like, because she does meth. Because she does meth.
Because she's the Chris Farley of the Pony Universe.
No, she's Hitler was on meth.
Oh.
She's the Fuhrer.
That is messed up.
Yeah. And I'm sure somebody has done Pinkie Pie in, let's say, Hugo Boss regalia.
They've done ponies in Hugo Boss regalia, but there's also Ariane, which is the Nazi pony.
Enough of that, God. Can we go one episode without mentioning Hitler?
You brought it up. Do not start with me.
Are you saying that I can't rope you into this?
No.
Okay, well, anyways, in the memory orb, what we find out is that some pony paid a secretary of Mr. Horse a bunch of money to fuck with their field, because the sprites go crazy and they start like eating bleachers and turning them into shit and eating the table that's underneath them. And the Ministry Mayors are like, well, obviously we can't invest in this. It looks like an accident waiting to happen. And Applejack is also like, I know I told you, Rainbow Dash, that we were going to have lunch, but Toodles, I got to go work on this armor because my brother is now going to go fight, and I want to make sure his thick head doesn't get, exploded.
Spoilers?
Yeah, but it also, there's kind of I don't know, man. Like, so we've already had implications through the story that Rainbow Dash is a lesbian pony.
Mm-hmm.
And she just seemed so hurt.
Yeah.
That, Applejack was like, but you promised.
She wants to munch those apple carpets.
That's you kind of fumbled that metaphor, but
yeah,
she wants to make an apple snack out of Applejack.
Well, there already is apple snack.
I know, and she's not interested in apple snack.
No.
Blam. So This is a long chapter. Little bits of stuff covered here and there. I know there's something that we've forgotten. You've read the book, you know?
Oh, there's the part where Caprice yells at Blackjack about how she thought Blackjack was going to take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, she kind of was.
Yeah, it's like, you're taking over, you're doing all the stuff, and you're going to take over, and you're going to ruin everything.
And you're ruining my racket with these drug addicts. Yeah, whatever.
You whore.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Anyway.
Interesting to see where the story goes from here. I know that they tried to remind us, like, hey, we now have enough caps to maybe, you know, decrypt this thing. But, you know, we'll get to it.
Yep. In 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about the story. Like I said, I know we finished book 1, and now we're at the beginning of book 2, but it's also kind of like, where are we going to go from here?
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a prejudice because I've been informed by everyone that at a certain point the story just like trails off or stops making sense or loses its way. And so there's always, I know that's much further along, but I wish that kind of never been shared with me because it colors my impression of the rest of the story. So, but yeah, decent chapter. Curious to see where we're going to be going from here. Less emotional.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that's just going to be the tone
Yeah, it's a little emotional, but yeah.
for the rest of the book. And, you know, we got to figure out what's going on with the rampage.
Yep.
So, Chris,
Yes.
it has been a while,
It has.
but allow me to scan our Foley of Man bookshelf, blow the dust off the cover, or a sneeze, you know, and open to page 45 of the Pony Pun of the Week! Did you bring the Pony Pun this week? No.
I haven't fed the pony pun for the past 3 months.
Oh, no. There is a dried out husk of a Pony Pun sitting in the corner.
That joke from the very early Family Guy. I got you a pony for your 6th birthday, and she's 16 now. Until you open the door, and it's just a skeletal remains.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
I do have a Pony Pun.
Okay.
What do you call Luna's biggest fan?
I don't know. What do you call Luna's biggest fan?
A lunatic. The Pony Pun of the Week!
Pony Pun of the Week.
All right, now we got that out of the way. So, housekeeping. Yeah, we're alive. We do exist. Yeah, I know, we're pieces of shit. I don't know why you put up with us, but we're here. We're here. Yeah. I mean, ostensibly assuming that I actually edit this thing and get it up there.
One day.
Yeah, one day. One day. Hopefully this day. Hopefully I'll be able to turn around that pretty quick. But, you know, life's been nuts, y'all. I moved.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit further away from Chris, but still see him all the time. Just not in a capacity that makes it easy for us to record.
Exactly.
So, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make any promises about when the next episode's going to come out. They'll just show up. And it may be a live episode in the middle of a field. And you'll be like, what the fuck is this? And I'll be like, it's the Pony Pun of the Week in the middle of a field.
Yep.
So, but we are going to stick with it. Obviously, we're going to finish this. We're going to get through this. We're going to drag you kicking and screaming all the way to the finish line. Is there anything you wanted to say?
It's good to be back, kind of.
Yeah.
Hopefully the next episode is not too far away.
As in it's kind of good, or it's just that...
It's good to kind of be back.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. All right. Good clarification.
It depends on when the next episode comes out, if back exists.
And if baby's got it.
Possibly.
So yeah, so we'll be hopefully back on a little bit more of a regular schedule. We'll see.
We'll see.
We do still need to finish Prey as well. That's our sister series on the Foley of Man. And that, of course, is, you know, how should I say this? My Little Pony and the video game Prey, as opposed to Fallout. And it's good. It's a good book. You should go read it. Even if you didn't play the video game, it's a good story.
Yeah. It doesn't rely very heavily on it takes the premise of the video game, but it doesn't rely on it heavily enough to even require knowing what the video game is.
Well, and it's written by K-Cat, and she's kind of like the elder states pony of this whole oeuvre, the genre, and she's a hell of a writer.
Yeah.
Right. And that's nothing. I mean, Somber's a great writer too. I don't mean to take away from him. But K-Cat's great. So if for some reason you've read Project Horizons and not followed Equestria, there must be somebody out there that's the case. I would encourage you to go read Followed Equestria, read Origin Story, and check out Prey, because if you like this writing, you will like that.
Oh yeah.
Furthermore, I mean, life's good. Life's good. I know people were like super worried about us, like proof of life shit. Like, are you guys okay? Is somebody dead? And it's like, nah, man. You and I thought we were dying because we started taking CBD for a week.
That was fun.
Thought we had, congestive heart failure. That's cool. So PSA, there are side effects of that some people can experience. And people with a history of mental health problems have a higher predilection towards those side effects.
Joy.
Yeah. So go. There you go, right?
Don't put strange chemicals in your body without at least reading up on it.
Yeah. Well, see, I always avoid what the side effects or things are because I have problems with psychosomatic symptoms.
Yep.
Like if I read it, it's like I start conjuring it, and I don't want that. I don't want to be that. But I'm, yeah. Bit,
Anyway.
OCD. So, if you like what you see here and you're listening to us, check out our YouTube channel. We are youtube.com/CriscoCast. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure to go download the audio version of this podcast. If for nothing else, it helps us. I wouldn't say that the only thing we make off of this show is what y'all donate to our Patreon. That being said, if you like what we do and want to help us pay for the editing program, for our Libsyn.
To get rid of that popping that you're currently hearing?
Yeah, the P poppin' Peterson right here.
Oh, no, I meant we never use shift back and forth.
Well, we're not going to use those funds to fix the creak in your floor. Yeah, that's Chris's long con. He's like, yeah, I'm going to grow the show and fix my house before it falls apart. Before it falls apart.
Before?
Yeah. All right, everybody, here's our Kickstarter to fix Chris's fucking house. So, yes, but also remember, I guess email is the thing. You can email us at cbpbch@gmail.com. Again, that is cbpbch@gmail.com. But the real hot joint, the place you got to check us out, is our Discord, which is linked below in the description of the YouTube video and our audio podcast. We are not on Spotify. We'll never be on Spotify. So, I got some good news. A podcast I really liked, who went exclusive to Spotify a few years ago, is now going to be back on all platforms.
Yay!
And it's like, man, I'm glad you finally realized what a bad decision that was.
Yeah, exclusivity doesn't hurt anyone, or it doesn't help anyone but the platform. Anyway.
And here's the deal. If you like Spotify, that's fine. But, in my mind...
They just kept breaking the app on my phone all the time. It's
ultimately, talking about principles, for me, the principle behind a podcast is that it should be easy to access and available for free. Mm-hmm. You are never going to have to pay to access our content.
It's a radio show.
Right?
Yeah, it's a radio show. Yeah.
Right? If we make money, it will be off of advertisements, which would have to be very carefully groomed and selected, because I hate the idea of like pop-up ads on our videos. Like, I don't like that.
It would be sponsorships.
It would be a sponsorship, or Patreon, a patronage system. Mm-hmm. Like, if you like what I do and you want to help me make more of it, great. Every little bit truly helps, right?
Yep.
And that's it. That's it. Because again, it's kind of the pirate radio free nature of it.
Yeah, and it's
the way that it should be.
Yeah, everything needs to have that kind of like open, accessible content.
Because there's enough fucking paid content out there. Like, we get rid of cable, right? Mm-hmm. And then they say, well, now we're going to give you 16 different streaming services that you have to subscribe to get.
And none of them have crossover content. So if you want to watch all of the shows, you have to buy all of the subscriptions, and that's god awful amounts of money.
And you can do that, and you can choose to do that. My response to that is no.
I'm not paying for a single one.
Do it. I will choose to not watch a show, regardless of how quote unquote good it is, based on the platform that it's on.
Yeah.
So that's my principle.
I don't need escapist entertainment enough.
Well, and that's the thing that's so frustrating for me. That's one of the reasons why I use YouTube so much, right? Mm-hmm. There's so much on YouTube, and I love that as a platform, but I also kind of am very frustrated with YouTube as a platform provider because of some of the business practices that they have.
Yeah.
So
prioritizing risque, and by risque I mean literally turn off Like, log out of your account and go to the front page of YouTube, and it's nothing but like boob shots.
Yeah.
And it's so blatant. And at the same time, you look at it and you're like, hey, YouTube, can I swear and get ad revenue? No. You must have only cleavage on the screen.
Watch this video of Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's frustrating. So I think long-term, Chris and I will probably be investing more in alternative tech platforms as well, just so that we have a presence there. I don't think we have to worry about the name. I mean, unless one of you fucktards goes and, takes The Folly of Man at, Daily Motion or Rumble or some other places. We should probably get on that. But, it's good for now, and I do like it. It's, good.
Yeah.
So enough on that diatribe. So, thank you for being with us. For Chris, I'm Robert, and this has been The Folly of Man. We will see y'all next time. Yeah. Come on.
It's
Yeah.
all over, but the cry.
Let's just do this. It's welcome to TFOM ASMR.
Welcome, everyone, to the next episode. Welcome, everyone, to the next episode.
You can get one of those fucking weird mics that are just ears.
Oh, God. My name is Chris. With me here today is Ron.
By the way, I hate them so much.
Maybe that should be what our additional income is just doing ASMRs.
I'm sure so, but man, all right, yeah. Our OnlyFans
But
is
the
you hire us.
soundscape is just studio, so it's like, hey, we need to start recording soon. It's okay, just take a little time.
So did you play the new expansion for Dusk?
Not yet. I think it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good game. It's gonna be a really good game.
Wait until they have multiplayer. It's gonna be great.